Hello everyone. I just turned the camera around so I'm gonna be looking at you. Today is the 9th, February 9th. This is gonna be an interesting episode. I don't know if this is going to be a podcast episode or a vlog. But what do I do? Usually, if this is a potential podcast episode, I talk about my week. So the past few days, I have been watching all of the Harry Potter movies. I will be watching the 7th one, part 1, tonight or tomorrow. Either way, I'll be done tomorrow, I'm sure. It's been good. That's what I just recorded a podcast with someone and it was really great. You'll see that someday, unless you've already seen it. In which case, you'll have heard me talk a little bit about it. Let me get some peppermint oil sniffs in. What do you all know about Daniel Boone? That's what I talked a little bit about, how my siblings always made me feel bad and left out about not having read the books or seen the movies. But now I've seen all the movies, so I kind of know what you're talking about. Haven't read the books. I maybe will eventually. Maybe when my kids read it, we can all read it together. That might be an activity to do. But I am a Gryffindor. I think I'm all of them, but I took the most accurate test, so it was Gryffindor. That's why I took 2 tests this morning. Okay, I'll just explain it, but this was on the podcast I just talked about with Callie. So, when I was in high school, I took it. It said Ravenclaw. Okay. I do have good intuition. I forget all the traits unless I'm looking it up, but I took it once this morning. In the questions, I kind of immediately regret it. It immediately stressed me out because it's like, white or black? The first one was dawn or dusk. And then the last question of the quiz was white or black. I was like, oh my gosh. I chose dawn. Even that's what I immediately kind of regretted it. Those questions, I kind of didn't even want to take the test when I saw those. I'm like, are you serious? So when I took it the second time, it didn't ask those. It asked completely different questions. But, and the owl cat thing tripped me up. They asked if you want, what animal you want to bring. I said cat the first time. Because, I love owls and I wanted to choose an owl, but the cage thing. It was the cage thing that was keeping me. I hate cages. Anything that's gonna be in a cage. That's what I get it when it's necessary, but especially birds. I don't think birds should be in cages. But I would probably not keep mine in a cage most of the time. I think I'd be okay with it. I think in Hogwarts area, it'd be more fine. So the second time I chose owl because that's what I wanted to do anyway. And then I got Gryffindor. So, I'm gonna stick with that. But that's why I feel like I have to explain my whole life story. Well, just the story of me, the Ravenclaw Hufflepuff thing and doing all that. Because when I first said it to my siblings, or to my sisters, I did say, I didn't explain it at first. And then I felt guilty. I felt like it was eating me up. I'm like, ugh. It did say Hufflepuff, but then I regretted it. Maybe that's the being too nice to a fault, so that was the first Like, the test was accurate at first because I was being too nice to a fault. I'm not keeping an owl in a cage, but that's really what I want to do anyway. So, you like this setup? That's why I can't see myself right now, but on the podcast it was good. I checked it for a second before I started recording. So my podcast, when it's just me, do y'all know who Drew Monson is, or My Toe Cold on YouTube? He is hilarious, and so I know he's a Cancer because I think he was like, I don't know if he was the one like hiding his birthday. Maybe though. Maybe not. But that's what, there was someone that like wouldn't tell their birthday, and I feel like it might have been him. Maybe I feel like he's told, but I do get the vibes like I relate to him a lot in his videos a lot. Like, he kind of just like goes talking and will like challenge himself to like talk for a while on his second channel and stuff. Ooh, it fits. But I like him. He's funny. When I know I have to do something, or like I'm doing something that day, like I've heard this is an ADHD thing, but it's like I can't think of anything else until I do it. So that was like the thing with the podcast. It's like I knew I was doing it, so I was kind of pushing it off, and it's like I set my whole day like around that. So I am very spontaneous, and I like that, but sometimes when it's like, if someone had brought something up like earlier today and it kind of changed my plans, then it annoyed me a little bit, especially if you knew you wanted me. But if I knew it was like drop a hat, like you need me, of course I'd drop my hat and come to you. But ooh, I do want to put this Sun Studio thing behind here. Y'all know what Sun Studio is? Sun Studio, not Sin Studio, or I don't know. I don't know how that looks, but I like it. But I have this Matthew homework. If you watched my day in a life, you would know that. It's an 8-session Bible study. Doing it for like 9 weeks, meeting up for 9 weeks. This is like the first time I've been into homework, so very grateful for it. Matthew was a tax collector, which people weren't very fond of. Oh, I wanted to talk about how, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Check out my Instagram, all love. But, oh, you can't see it. That painting right there, I did that a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Time doesn't exist, I don't know. I just posted on Instagram like a minute before I started recording the podcast, and I didn't post it right when I immediately did it, which is what I usually do and what I like doing. Like, I thought I wouldn't post it, but then I started looking at it more, and I like it. But at first, I didn't like it, and I was like kind of embarrassed of it and thought it wasn't good, and then like it grows on me. Is that what I do to people? Am I just like, ugh? I don't know why I'm related to me. I think that's a very human thing to do. I can hear the lens clicking going, and I don't know how to make it not. I know it's an autofocus thing, but I've taken it off autofocus and it still does it, so I don't know. You're welcome to put anything in the comments. But why does it grow on me? I think I liked it at first, and then I think about what other people think about it, and then maybe I get over that. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm not going to talk about something I already talked about, but that's what I don't know if this will be a podcast episode or not. Have y'all's taste buds changed since you were a kid? Let me talk about, I asked some questions to Callie and I didn't really give my answers because it was more of an interview, which is good. Like, that's what it was, an interview. It wasn't an interviewing myself, but maybe so one of the questions, so I'll do the taste buds question first and then I'll do the movie question. Taste buds question, I used to be a lot more picky as a kid. Fear is part of the reason. And that might be the only reason. I stuck to what I was comfortable with. Chicken fingers and fries a lot of the times. I liked it. I loved it. But now, like, I love trying new things. I am the most thrill seeker person ever. If you've heard me say, I did a personality test in psychology class, like a thrill seeker test. Mine was the highest it could be. Very thrill seeking. I've gone skydiving, which a lot of people have done, and I recommend. But yeah, that's what I didn't, my parents didn't really like Chinese or Japanese food, so I didn't go there that much as a kid. But tried it, I liked it. I like trying new things, I really do. Movie question. Baby's looking at me. That's what she said. Movie question. What's a movie I could see or watch over and over again and never get tired of? That's what... I've definitely mentioned this in more than one podcast. Maybe every single one. Popstar never stopping. I was saying it wrong for a long time, but it's never stopping. Popstar never stopping. Connor for real. And The Style Boy for life. Best movie. I could watch that over and over again. I think it's on Hulu now. So watch it. One of my favorite movies if you want. What's another question? Oh, I asked her if she had mentioned before about sharing your mistakes with the world, which mine are online. No, I talk about them online. My mistakes are not online, but I mean, kind of, like, now they are, since this year, since I started doing these, but a lot or not, of course. I kind of started talking about them more after I realized they were mistakes, and then I realized I can help people with it. But she summed up really good what I thought are like my mistakes too. I'm gonna try to stay in one place so it doesn't keep moving. But basically, boys and not trusting yourself. I'm like putting other people ahead of yourself, not. So I'm summing up more of mine. She explained hers well. That's what, and I talk about this like on all my podcasts. Like, we are built with the built-in like intuition. as a baby, and then we kind of get conditioned by everything else in our world, and kind of like here on earth, like not where the new earth is coming in, like where I think like God talks about that. But basically we get conditioned, and I felt like I was conditioned, like I allowed it. Obviously we have like free will, and we have like kind of control over our bodies. Like I just put everything else in front of me, people in front of me, did not trust myself. And so she explained it a lot better than I did. So, but do you get my point? Like I was in relationships that I probably didn't want to be like them. Like if we can be influenced by people around us, and like the people closest to us. Like I didn't inspire to be them. To be Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank burned his ribs. I watched that video with Griffin the other day. That was hilarious. Follow him on Instagram now. Hopefully I get to meet him. He's a Barstool boy. Man. But that was a good question. That was like exactly the answer I was gonna give, and she said it a lot more eloquently than I did. Yeah, I mean, we have to not, I mean, don't put anyone ahead of Jesus and God, because that, they want to help you. They love you. And we have to allow them to love us. So I need to do my homework. I think my brain's not set on this. But yeah, we can't put like boys ahead of anything, or nicotine ahead of anything, or any friends above your family if they're bad influences. And by bad influences, I hope you know what that means. Baby! Because we do have a sense of what's good for us and what's right for us. And then we ignore that for external stuff. External validation. Or clothes, or I don't know. This got deep, didn't it? That's what my podcast is about. But, you know, people need to look at the good thing of Harry Potter. There, you can see it and see the dark arts, and that's bad, and wizard magic is bad, blah blah blah. Or you can look at all the good stuff. Like almost everything that comes out of Albus Dumbledore's mouth, inspiring, can be your Instagram caption. It could be a good quote that you could put on your wall in your mirror, read every day, and it inspire you. There's a lot about, I mean, light and dark. You can't have light without dark. You can't have dark without light. This is chemistry. This is science. But my point, like, you can see all the bad stuff, or you can see the good stuff. You can't have one without the other. Just having your eyes set on good stuff is great. Is like what we should strive for. Like, who wants to see like fear and everything? That's terrifying. And that's hell. The title of the book says Seek First the Kingdom. And I agree. We can't enjoy the kingdom without seeking it first. Yeah. You can't even get there. So yeah, I don't know how long this is. I don't know if you can see me, those are lights. But this is good. I'm glad I talked to you all. I love talking to you all, and I love expressing myself. It feels good. It feels good to be more comfortable being myself in front of the camera. Like, I feel like this has been a process, and it will always be a process, but like feeling comfortable like to get here and just like talk to myself or like pretend people or like I think people actually like listen to me or like watch me, and that's like shocks me and is cool, surprises me. I don't know, but it feels nice to know that I'm not alone, no one's alone, and I can like do this, like it's like really cool. Okay, I love you all. Hope you all have a great life, great day, great time. I love you all. All love all.